Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and buckle up because today we are diving into one of the most explosive moments in British daytime television history that still has people talking years later. Picture this, it's a bright spring morning in 2023, the ITV studios are buzzing, the audience is packed with excited housewives and retirees clutching their cups of tea, and Lorraine Kelly, the undisputed queen of morning TV, is sitting in her chair looking as warm and cuddly as ever in a bright pink blouse and perfectly blow-dried hair. She's been doing this show for decades, she's interviewed everyone from Hollywood A-listers to the Prime Minister, and nothing ever phases her. Until today, her guest is Ricky Gervais, the man who built an entire career on saying the things that everyone thinks but nobody dares say out loud. He walks onto the set with that trademark smirk, wearing a black t-shirt, jeans, and the expression of someone who already knows he's going to cause chaos. Lorraine greets him with her usual Scottish charm. "Ricky, welcome back, you cheeky wee devil," and the audience laughs because they think it's going to be the usual playful banter. They have no idea that in less than 12 minutes this interview is going to go down as the day Lorraine Kelly finally lost her cool and had a guest physically removed from her sofa. What started as a routine promotional chat for Ricky's new stand-up special Armageddon turned into a full-blown ideological war that ended with security being called and Ricky being escorted out while still mid-sentence. Social media exploded, newspapers ran front-page stories, and the clip has now been viewed over 80 million times across platforms. But how did it all go so wrong so fast? Let's go back to the very beginning of this now legendary disaster and break down every single moment that led to the most awkward ejection in morning TV history. The interview starts innocently enough. Lorraine is asking Ricky about his tour, his Netflix specials, and how he feels about being one of the last comedians still willing to offend people. Ricky, as always, is loving it. He's leaning back on the sofa, sipping his tea, and firing off one-liners about cancel culture and how everyone's too sensitive these days. The audience is eating it up. Lorraine is giggling along because she's a professional and she knows how to play the game. She even jokes that she's scared to say anything in case she gets cancelled herself. And Ricky laughs and says, "Lorraine, you're the most uncancelable person in Britain. You could murder someone on live TV and they'd still give you a BAFTA." Everyone laughs. It's all very cozy, very British. Then Lorraine makes the fatal mistake that changes everything. She decides to pivot the conversation to something a bit more personal. She says, "Now Ricky, you're always going on about animal rights and being vegan and all that, but tell me honestly, don't you ever just fancy a big juicy steak sometimes?" The audience chuckles because they think it's a harmless little dig. But Ricky's smile disappears instantly. You can actually see the switch flip in his eyes. He puts his cup down very slowly, leans forward, and says, "Lorraine, I've been vegan for years because I don't think we should torture and kill sentient beings for a taste that lasts 10 seconds. It's not a fad, it's not a diet. It's a moral position." The audience is still smiling because they think he's doing a bit. But Lorraine, perhaps trying to keep it light, rolls her eyes a little and says, "Oh come on Ricky, everything in moderation. My husband loves a bit of venison and we're not monsters." That was the spark. That one sentence was all it took to light the fuse on a bomb that had apparently been waiting to go off for years. Ricky's entire posture changes. He sits bolt upright, looks Lorraine dead in the eye, and says, very calmly but with ice in his voice, "Venison. So your husband likes shooting innocent animals for fun, does he?" "That's not food, Lorraine. That's blood sport for rich people who get off on killing things that can't fight back." The audience gasps. Lorraine's smile freezes on her face. She tries to laugh it off and says, "Well, I didn't mean it like that, it's just countryside tradition." But Ricky is already in full flow and there is no stopping him now. He launches into one of his trademark impassioned monologues about factory farming, trophy hunting, and how people like Lorraine sit there smiling on TV while animals are being slaughtered by the billions. He says, "You invite me on your show to talk about comedy, but you're wearing leather shoes and you've got a husband who thinks it's entertainment to blow a deer's head off. How do you sleep at night?" Lorraine, who has never, ever been spoken to like this on her own show, starts to go red. She tries to interrupt, "Now hang on a minute, Ricky, you can't come on here and attack my family." But Ricky just talks over her and says, "I'm not attacking your family. I'm attacking hypocrisy. You're sitting there pretending to be everyone's favorite anti while supporting an industry that boils animals alive." The director in the gallery is apparently screaming into the talkback for someone to cut to commercial. But Lorraine waves them off because she's not having this man bully her in front of her audience. She leans forward and says, very firmly, "This is my show, Ricky, and I won't have you speaking to me like that." Ricky just smirks and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your feelings?" Imagine how the animals feel when they're having their throats cut. That was the moment the interview died. Lorraine Kelly, who has interviewed war criminals, pop stars on drugs, and politicians caught in sex scandals without ever losing her composure, finally snaps. She stands up and says, "Right, that's it. You've crossed the line. You do not come on my program and insult me and my family." Ricky, still sitting, laughs and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not allowed to have morals on ITV before 10 a.m.? Lorraine is shaking with anger now. She turns to the floor manager and says, loud enough for the microphones to pick up, "Get him out. Get him off my set right now." The audience is in total shock. Some people are gasping, others are starting to clap because they think it's part of the act. But then two security guards actually appear from the wings and start walking towards Ricky. He stands up slowly, still smirking, and says into the camera, "Look everyone, this is what happens when you tell the truth on daytime TV. They literally have you removed." As the guards take his arms, he shouts over his shoulder, "Tell your husband to try tofu, Lorraine. It's delicious." Lorraine is standing there with her arms folded, face like thunder, and she says, "Get him out of my sight." The feed cuts to an emergency commercial break 30 seconds early, and when they come back, Lorraine is sitting alone on the sofa, visibly shaken, saying, "Well, that was Ricky Gervais, everyone." Sometimes people just can't handle a bit of friendly debate. But her voice is trembling and her eyes are glassy, and the entire country knows they just witnessed the day the queen of morning TV was dethroned in her own kingdom. Within minutes, the clip is everywhere. Twitter race still Twitter back, then A absolutely explodes. #Lorraine vs Ricky trends worldwide within 20 minutes. People are posting the video with captions like, "Ricky Gervais just ended Lorraine Kelly's whole career in 4K and never thought I'd see the day Lorraine called security on a guest." Team Ricky is out in force, praising him for not backing down and calling Lorraine a hypocrite for supporting hunting, while Team Lorraine is defending her, saying Ricky was rude, aggressive, and ambushed her on her own show. Piers Morgan, of course, jumps in immediately tweeting, "Finally someone shut that smug little man up. Well done, Lorraine." Ricky responds with a picture of Piers Morgan photoshopped onto a hunted fox and the caption, "Calm down, Bambi killer." The newspapers the next day are glorious. The Sun runs the headline, "Lorraine boots out mouthy Ricky," while The Guardian goes with "Gervais ejected from ITV after animal rights rant." Lorraine releases a statement through ITV saying she was shocked and disappointed by Ricky's personal attacks and that she has always welcomed robust debate but will not tolerate being insulted in her own studio. Ricky, naturally, posts a 10-minute video on YouTube titled "The Day I Got Kicked Off Lorraine for Caring About Animals," where he plays the full unedited clip and then spends the rest of the time reading out tweets from people thanking him for speaking up. He ends it by saying, "If telling the truth about animal cruelty gets you thrown off daytime TV, then I'll gladly be thrown off every single day." The fallout lasts for weeks. Lorraine takes a few days off officially for scheduled leave, but everyone knows she's licking her wounds. When she comes back, she addresses it head-on in her opening monologue, saying, "I've been doing this job for over 30 years and I've never had to have a guest removed before. I'm not proud of it, but I won't be spoken to like that in my own house." The audience gives her a standing ovation and she gets thousands of messages of support. Ricky's tour sells out completely on the back of the publicity, and he starts wearing a t-shirt on stage that says "Banned by Lorraine," which becomes the fastest-selling merch of his career. ITV reportedly bans him for life from all their daytime shows, but within a year he's back on This Morning promoting his next special because, let's be honest, controversy sells. Years later, people still ask them both about it in interviews. Lorraine always says the same thing, I wish him well, but he was bang out of order that day. Ricky always laughs and says, "I'd do it again tomorrow." Sometimes you have to be the asshole to make people think. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the full, unfiltered story of the day Ricky Gervais got kicked off Lorraine Kelly's show, and the day British daytime television grew up, even if only for 12 glorious minutes, and the day we all realized that even the nicest woman on television has a line you cross at your peril. Never forget, you can slag off the government, the royals, even Piers Morgan, but insult Lorraine's husband's venison and you're out the door faster than you can say afterlife. What a time to be alive.